I'm not surprised our detective did something to piss off a cult of murderous blood mages, but their timing stinks.
Welcome to Mojo Plays, and today we're looking at everything that you need to know about Dragon Age the Veilguard, releasing on October 31st for PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC.
You and me, Rook. Maybe that's what scares me.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
The name change.
Dragon Age Veilguard. Wait, Dragon Age the Veilguard.
For years, Dragon Age 4 was known as Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and was believed to follow up closely on the cliffhanger at the end of Inquisition that Solas is the Dreadwolf, one of the Elven gods. It's rare that a game gets a name change after the game has already been announced with a different name, but BioWare has said that this reflects the change in direction the game has taken. We'll talk more about why the name has changed in relation to the story later on, but suffice it to say it doesn't look like Solas is our big bad anymore, with the game instead more concerned with the Fade, the magical realm where Dragon Age's spirits live. The team.
Are they after us? Is it because of the bar?
Word travels fast in Minrathous.
It's no secret that BioWare has struggled in the last 10 years. While Dragon Age Inquisition was a monumental game, 2017's Mass Effect Andromeda was poorly received as a disappointing sequel to the groundbreaking trilogy. After that, EA dictated that BioWare changed direction, and the studio put out the live service flop Anthem in 2019. Veilguard looks like a return to form, but it's also had a tumultuous time behind the scenes, with a lot of developers leaving the project. This includes the game's former creative director Matt Goldman, leaving BioWare in 2021. Luckily, it's starting to look like the next Dragon Age game is coming together, and at least it's not going to be online anymore.
Let's go, Hardy. Nev, keep the demons off us.
You got it.
The story.
Come on, Varric. We didn't come all this way just to talk to him.
He was my friend, Rook. I gotta try to reach him.
If the name's been changed, what's the game about now? From the trailers, it's clear that, as said, Solas isn't the main villain. IGN's exclusive footage of the game reveals that Solas will feature prominently, including in the intro, but that two other Elven gods, Elgar'nan and Ghilan'nain, are the villains here, and they're much more dangerous. There's also another Darkspawn Blight ongoing, and therefore another Archdemon threatening Thedas. Most interesting of all is one moment in a trailer that shows Scout Harding, a dwarf, using magic. Longtime Dragon Age fans will know that dwarves can't use magic, so whatever's happening to the Fade is affecting everybody. We can't wait to find out.
These are the times in which legends are born.
Character creator.
And I'm pleased to say that it's a very robust character creator.
We've finally been shown footage of the character creator, and as expected, it's even more complicated than it's been in the previous games. Yet again, we can play as a Qunari, which the hardcore Dragon Age fans will love, but you can also play as the other three main races, human, dwarf, and elf. It's got incredibly deep options for how to customize your character, including adding blemishes and eye cataracts, and having some of the best hairstyles we've seen so far in a Dragon Age game. This even includes long hair, which hasn't been in any of the previous entries, presumably because it's not easy to animate. You also pick a backstory and which of the game's many new factions you want to be aligned with.
Shit. We need a better plan.
Morrigan.
You battle against gods. They will not rest until you are on your knees.
The first trailer for Veilguard featured Varric heavily, which is no surprise. The dwarven storyteller was certainly the standout character in Dragon Age 2, and a fan-favorite party member in Inquisition. Though we're going to be devastated when Bianca gets destroyed in the prologue. But later trailers have featured a different returning character, and it is, of course, Morrigan. Revealing Morrigan definitely won over a lot of the more skeptical fans, and we're excited to see her again. Despite her moral ambiguity, she's always an asset and easily a selling point for Veilguard. Other returning characters include Scout Harding and obviously Solas.
These are the times in which legends are born.
Minrathous.
I'll take it from here.
Are you sure?
Positive.
It was rumored for years that the next Dragon Age game was going to take us further north than we've ever seen before, into the Tevinter Imperium. This is absolutely true, as the first gameplay reveal showed. We got to see Rook and the party fighting through the streets of Minrathous, Tevinter's capital and the biggest city in the entire game. But it's not just going to be set in Tevinter, as we've also seen footage concerned with the Antivan Crows. It would also be fun to see some other classic locations revisited, like Kirkwall and Denerim, though we wouldn't be surprised if Orlais is largely skipped since it featured so heavily in Inquisition, and Dragon Age generally likes to move on.
Agreed. Solas isn't waiting, neither can we.
Have you got my gear?
Right over there.
Skill tree. Like all good RPGs, Dragon Age has classes. It's got a simpler class system than other fantasy games, having only mages, rogues, and warriors, but there are various subclasses and specializations to invest in. It looks like all of this is going to continue in Veilguard, and we've seen so far a large constellation-looking skill map, which is very different to how skill progression has looked in past Dragon Age games. Now, it's hard to tell without getting hands-on with all the different classes exactly how varied the potential builds are going to be, or how useful the skills and specializations will become. Hopefully, different specializations will affect the narrative and what dialogue options you can use.
We're good, but we need to move.
The Lighthouse.
Maybe. I suppose you were born for this sort of fight, boy.
Once again, we have a large home base for our characters, much like Skyhold in Inquisition. This time it's called the Lighthouse, and it exists in the Fade. This is where you and your companions will spend time, as well as providing tons of new lore about the Elven villains. It's also presumably where you'll be doing all of your romancing, which we'll get to. BioWare has implemented a useful system where companions' rooms will be illuminated if they have a unique cutscene to watch, to save you from running around after every mission checking which characters have something to say. The Fade will be even more important since a particular area, the Crossroads, is how you fast travel. Via the Alluvians, which have all now reactivated, you fight through the Crossroads to get to other areas of Thedas. After the area is cleared, you can fast travel. Companions.
You don't slow down for much, do you?
The first unpopular trailer was a roll call for a bunch of new companions we haven't formed an attachment to. This, along with the cartoonish art style, made people worried that the game wasn't going to be the sequel they actually wanted. That doesn't appear to be the case though, and Veilguard will introduce a cast of new characters that are sure to become beloved. BioWare's trademark dialogue wheel is also coming back, along with symbols that tell you the tone and meaning of each option, not to mention the consequence system. The consequences are even deeper now, with the game telling you exactly why one character did or didn't like something, and how it's changed their opinion of you overall. And yes, there's going to be plenty of romance here. The combat. The biggest thing people have been talking about is the combat and how different it is from Inquisition. After going for a more actiony route for Dragon Age 2, BioWare backtracked with Inquisition and made the combat slower and more complex again. But now we have another Dragon Age with more action-oriented combat, including the ability to switch between different weapon types during encounters, which you were previously unable to do. You also can't control their party members directly anymore by playing as them, which has been a staple of every other game in the series. There is still real-time with pause though, so the focus on tactics isn't completely gone.
Eyes up, we've got company.
Let us know whether you'll be checking out Dragon Age the Veilguard and which class you'll be playing as.
Either way, someone needs to stay back and deal with the demons.
Check out these other great clips from Mojo Plays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.